Hey guys, Raxasaur here and welcome to Patch Notes on the 25th of November 2025. It is 1 month until Christmas, and as everybody in society has decided, we're actually about 25 days into the Christmas period already. This is something that has irked me. I've been complaining to a lot of people about it, to be honest. For whatever reason, after Halloween, everyone was just in Christmas fever already, almost as if November doesn't matter, which, as a November enjoyer, sucks. That's all I gotta say about that. Last weekend, we were at a Heresy event. It was a doubles, which I've been preparing for the last month or so. We did 4 games over 2 days, 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. My partner Cameron brought Imperial Fists, and I was my Blood Angels. It was 1750 points per person, and we had 4 pretty good games, to be honest. The last game was probably our worst game, and by our, I mean my worst game, because Cameron had a pretty effective game, to be honest. I just don't feel like my dice showed up, which is a trend that has continued since that tournament. So, yeah, overall though, it was a lot of fun. Met some really, really nice people, really, really fun people. Got to learn a lot more about the game, as it is when you go to events and meet new people and play new people. They have some different interpretations of the rules, but also some different tactics and combos that you either don't know about or haven't thought of. I'm still pretty new to Heresy. I only started at the very tail end of 2nd edition. And I played Custodes, I didn't even play Marines. So there's a lot that when 3rd edition came out and I was getting to Marines, just didn't know about. So there's a bunch of combos, a bunch of command abilities from different commanders that I'm not very good with and don't really instantly go to, oh, this is a really good thing to do for this specific reason. And there was some really cool combos and some really cool things we went up against. First time coming up against what's called a termite. It's like effectively it's a transport vehicle that can deep strike and has a big old melter gun on it, which just feels really cool, because I just love that personally. And yeah, overall I was very disappointed with some aspects. I'm gonna very disappointed with some aspects of my army, and very chuffed with others. I came to the realization that melee is pretty trash for me. I get +1 strength on the charge, and it just doesn't really matter, really, because I did the maths. Say I have 10 tactical marines with guns, I get 20 shots. Aim to marine bodies, so I'm hitting on 3s, which means of the 20, on average, let's say 14 hit, and then I'm wounding on 4s, which means I get 7 wounds. If I'm charging into marines with my despoilers, they get 20 attacks, of which 10 hit because they hit on 4s, and then about 7 or 6 will wound, so it's approximately the same. That's into marines, so that's about the same. If I go into anything else, say I go into Veteran Assault Squad or Veteran anything with Weapon Skill 5, my Marines with guns will still hit on 3s, but my Despoilers now hit on 5s, which means I go from approximately 10 hits to approximately 5 hits. And it very much just became a, why am I running Marines that can do assault, because it just kind of sucks. But I mean, the strength 5 is very helpful. I am wounding on 3s, I'm wounding Terminators on 4s, but it's just the weight of attack isn't there. So the two options are either I need to bring bigger blobs of Marines, which I think is what I'm leaning towards, or I just ignore melee with Blood Angels and let the Custodes do it, which is the other option. So I did spend all of yesterday making 2 lists, 2 3,000 point lists, because Thursday I'm going to our bi-weekly Heresy thing, and I'm probably going to be up against a 3k list. So I've made two different ones. One of them is very marine heavy. One of them has Custodes as allies. I've changed up a bit about how my marines are going about. I've basically gotten rid of my favourite part of my army, at least until this weekend, which was my Legion champion in a Rhino with some Praetorian command. Because on the weekend they just did nothing. They just did absolutely nothing. I don't know if that's because they were flying instead of in a Rhino. I think the Rhino actually gives them that little bit more. But it's also like almost 4,500 points where I can fit a lot more into that. So I think I got rid of those. It allowed me to increase the size of my Dawnbreakers, which is better. It allowed me to actually take like 1 or 2 more units of line and just buff out everything other parts of my list, which I think I just prefer. So we'll see how that goes. It's just a learning experience anyway, trying out new things. I've got to just try out other things and see what happens. I've also gotten rid of my Prime Advantage, which is Fear 1, because it just doesn't come up. It never comes up. If it does come up, I tend to go up against traitors who just ignore the rule anyway because of either Malefic or went up against Emperor's Children as the last time. Emperor's Children, if they fail, they just become seduced or something. And then I went up against Iron Warriors in Game 3, and they just ignore all modifiers. So what's the point in loyalists having fear? Because it's not like fear counters anything. Like it's not as if, oh, I have fear 1, so I get slightly better. Like I don't reduce my own minuses. Either way, it's just part of the game. I'm just getting used to it. It's fine. I am annoyed by it. I'm also mostly the reason why my veteran squads did nothing is they were a massive threat. They are a 400 plus unit, so they are going to be shot at, but they don't have the survivability of a Terminator because they're not toughness 5. They've got 5 up invulnerable save only in melee, and they just don't get to melee. And the one times that they did get to melee, I just fluff my rolls anyway, but that's a me problem, but I fluff all the rolls. Yesterday we played D&D. I rolled so many dice because it was quite a large combat where I was doing allies and enemies, and then the players rolled obviously their own dice. And my rolls were fucking awful, except for the ones that don't matter, if that makes sense. Like you've got minions, you've got enemies, and then you've got big boss. My minions were doing amazing, but they're not supposed to. If they do, they're not like the big damage dealer. And then my medium size were kind of doing the one time they hit, they did really good, and that was the one out of, I think I rolled something like 30 dice for them. And my big boss did nothing, because he's fucking like can't roll. So yeah, just my dice rollings, man. It's always something that goes and gripes me. Whatever reason, I don't know if I was just born with a deficiency with rolling dice, but for whatever reason, I just roll below average. That's just me, which means why am I playing dice-based games? Why do I enjoy dice-based games? Because in the end, it's just annoying. And I actually came up with maybe what I should do is every time I miss a dice, I get +1 on my next dice roll, and it's just cascading. But that's not fun. That's not what the randomness of dice rolls are. But it just sucks that the randomness of my dice rolls is always below average. And very much over the 4 games we played over the weekend, the amount of average dice rolling that I got was always well below average. In our last game, one of our opponents, we shot let's say he had to take 25 wounds, and he rolled 23 saves on 3 ups, and then I take 10 wounds and I lose 6 dudes on a 3 up. So it just feels real naff, and it's not. You can look at that, it's like, oh yeah, but that was a single moment in time. That was, that's just the case of randomness. But that is a consistency in when I'm playing dice-based games. I will always lose over average amounts at dice rolls that matter. And it's the same when I used to play RNG-based games for damage, for example. And you're there I'm just rolling consistently below average damage on certain things, say like World of Tanks or War Thunder or something like that. And then the ones that you I only need to do 4 damage, that's the ones that the computer will calculate as being the really high over damage ones. And you're just what the fuck? So, yeah, anyway. It's a very point of frustration at the moment. I'm really feeling it, and it's really bothering me. But there's not really much I can do about it, because it's just how can you do? It's the end. This is a D6 roll. You can't practice rolling dice. You probably can, but like when you're rolling as many dice as you do in a game Warhammer, and it's always a random amount of dice that you're rolling, because you can't really consistently roll the same amount of dice consistently. You can't do that. But I mean, like, there's, it bothers me. I enjoy the game. I just hate myself. There we go. There's a criteria for you guys. I did paint my Dawnbreakers yesterday. I finished the unit of 10. They need to be based, but that's it. And then, which leads me to, I've got 20, 26. I think I've got 27 or 28 more dudes to paint from my of my Blood Angels. So I'm very chuffed with that. I did a bunch of my tanks last week. Because I was going to bring my Predators, so I need to do those, and I ended up doing the Rhinos as well. So I've still got my Land Raider and my Kratos to paint fully. I definitely could improve what's on the tanks, but I don't have I really dislike painting vehicles. I struggle a lot, and especially because once again these ones are the ones that sprayed red, so I'm just really struggling with those ones. The more I do it, the more I hate it. I do have a Saturnine Dreadnought, which I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm looking at in the distance. Who needs to be painted as well. And then the autocannon platform as well at some point, but that needs to be sprayed, and we are not in the weather for that stuff. Yesterday we had a very fun moment where I was painting my Dawnbreakers, and all my paints are getting low. I was like, talking to my wife and being like, I need to get like new paints, this and this. And she's like, what paint do you need? He's like, I need a red. And she looks at my pile and picks out a red. It's like, oh no, that's the poppy red. That's not the one I want. It's like, oh, you mean the slaughter red? I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? And this happened 3 more times. And it turns out that I am actually very good forward thinker, and I did buy myself 2 of the paints that I knew I was going to be doing the most, and she just found all of them. And I was like, oh, well, don't have to buy any paints then. I say, knowing full well that I will need to buy paint on Thursday, because I'm running out of the bronze, which I know I bought 2, but because my entire Custodian army is bronze, I am running out for that one. There's some kind of chanting happening outside. You can't hear it, I don't think, but I can. So, anyway. Yeah, so frustration on that end. In other news, last week I went with Andrew and Aaron, we went to... Oh, there's a big chant happening out there. Sorry, guys. We went to see Nuremberg at the cinema, which was a really good movie. And obviously, for anyone who knows a little bit about history about Nuremberg, it was I don't want to say it was a difficult watch. It wasn't. When I went to see Joker, the first Joker with my brother, we came out of the movie being like, that was really good. I'm never going to watch this again because it was such a difficult watch. I feel like this is a difficult watch in a different aspect, where I'd be like, I would recommend and I would probably watch this movie again. I wouldn't watch it, like, it's not the kind of like, oh, I want to watch it again. I really want to watch it again, but it's not. It's like All Quiet on the Western Front as well. Is that movie where I'm like, I'm never watching that again. It was really good. It's important everyone watches it, but I'm never going to watch it again. I feel like Nuremberg did it well enough where it was still an enjoyable movie as well as giving a very important message other than the last 5 seconds. But yeah, they did in the movie show footage of the camps for like, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes of the actual live footage, and it was fucking hard to watch. I was sat next to Aaron, and there was a specific scene where both of us were just like viscerally like reacting to that in like almost disbelief. And then we had a discussion at the end of the movie being like, I can't believe some people still deny that atrocity happened, because what the fuck. But the movie also did a really good portrayal of why, and that was like, as soon as that footage is sent, the Goering just basically just goes, could be faked. I don't know, and then you go, oh, humans have been doing that for the entirety of their lives, I guess. But Yeah, it was grim. But I was about to say in a good way. In a very well presented way, it was grim. And it really shows you the importance of what happened. With a bit of drama added to it. But, I mean, when you're talking about that stuff, there's always going to be some element of dramatization. And, yeah, but really good movie. I really recommend watching it. It is a hard watch, so if you're not in a good place mentally, it's not really a film you should watch. But it is definitely worth watching. It's one of those movies I think everyone should watch. Just like All Quiet on the Western Front, I think like everyone should watch that movie at least once. But they are difficult watches. But sometimes the most important movies are the most difficult to watch. And yeah, really, really good. Really, all of the actors in that movie played so well. Really, really well. I wasn't expecting Russell Crowe to be that good at portraying Hermann Goring, but he rocked that role. He really, really played it well. So yeah, really, really good. That was that. And then we had other movies that we watched. We recently renewed our Disney Plus because through my bank we get it for free, effectively. And we didn't realize that Ice Age was on Disney Plus, so we finished the Ice Age 5 film Finanza, and I came to the realization that Ice Age is the children's film version of the Fast and Furious franchise, in which every subsequent movie is just more and more fucking bonkers than the last. Specifically the fifth movie, the last one we watched, was absolutely insane. And then the fourth one was still ridiculous as well, ish. Like, it was ridiculous. The premise, the inciting incident is ridiculous, but the rest of the movie is like, sure. And then this one, it was just insane the entire fucking time. But the message is good. The movies are still good in that they're enjoyable to watch. But there were so many times in the fourth and then in the fifth, basically every 5 minutes, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? What is happening? But they're children's movies, so it's fine. And the story's fine, I guess. The characters are very fun. The animation's very good. So I'm not going to say I'm excited for the sixth movie that's coming out next year, but I'll probably watch it when it's on Disney Plus. We also watched Fantastic Four, which we hadn't watched in cinema. I know a lot of people said this was a really good Marvel movie. I will agree that it's a good movie from Marvel. It's definitely not top tier superhero movie. There are so many better ones from Marvel, but it's definitely not the trash that we've been having over the last few years. So it is a return to form. It is the best representation of the Fantastic Four that we've had to date. I absolutely loved the dynamics between the four characters, and the story itself is great. It is the best Galactus we've ever seen, by far. Really, really cool depiction. But the movie in itself isn't, it's alright. It's nothing special. I think I'd rate it the second, fourth film, to be honest. It was okay. It's a movie that I will rewatch, maybe. And it's setting up the Avengers movie, I guess. It's not really... Yeah, it was alright. I'm not going to complain, it was okay. We've still got to watch Thunderbolts. I think that's the next one we're going to watch before moving on to other things with our lives on Disney+. So, yeah. What else? Oh, we've got to watch Elio as well, or Elio, or however they pronounce that, which is a Pixar film. The latest one that came out. Yeah, that's about it, guys, to be honest. I've been talking about 20 minutes. I have no more competitions or events for the rest of the year. I'm just going to be chilling for the rest of the year, I think. There's not really that many weekends left. Hopefully on Sunday, I should probably send out the message. I'll do that after I record this. Sunday we will be finishing. Well, we will be continuing and hopefully finishing, although it probably might take 2 sessions. The arc of my Sunday D&D session. I apologize to my players for basically the event that we just had this weekend is the reason why we didn't have any sessions in November, and that is just because I had to prepare for it. And I'm happy that I did, because I would have had a terrible time if I hadn't. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be doing that on Sunday, hopefully. And then, yeah, yesterday's D&D session, I can't roll for shit, but otherwise I think the players had a good time. But also we were 2 players down, so, but I kept the same, yeah, either way. DM things. Yeah, that's about it. I've got a few, I've pre-ordered, I was like, it's coming to Christmas, I should probably treat myself because there's new Warhammer things coming out. I'm just going to get myself a few things for Warhammer. And then yesterday I got hit by my water bill, which came out of the blue, and I was like, fuck's sake, I forgot that it's December, that it's almost December, that's when my water bill comes out. So that was a fun extra hundreds of pounds to pay. So yay. And then our car is still broken, because the part that we need isn't in stock anywhere, and we've tried to get it delivered from a third-party retailer who just hasn't delivered it, and so my wife has had to order it for somewhere else. So that's also fun. It's just a lot of really cool things happening in our lives right now. It's just really bothering, and it's just frustrating that the hobbies that I want to do to make myself feel better don't make me feel better because of my own abilities, I guess. So fun. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good end of this month and start to the Christmas period, even though it's been the Christmas period for the last 4 weeks according to capitalism, I guess. But for those of you who are going to be starting the decorations next month, you are allowed. I will allow it, because obviously I am the primary decider of that. For those of you who celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving on Thursday. Unfortunately, we just haven't had the time to organise anything. We did it 2 years ago. We had like a big Thanksgiving thing amongst friends, and then last year we didn't do it because we had the wedding, and then this year we're not doing it because we've just got so much shit that's going on, and the inability to do other things because of car broken down, blah blah blah. So yeah, fun. Have a good one. I will speak to you next week. Fairly well.